Yeah, we're good. Who are you and what are you doing?
So hello everybody. We are here in my kitchen. Oh, I didn't even introduce myself. All right, hello everyone. I am Rachel Orlick and some of you know me and some of you may not know me yet. I am a psychologist and a relationship coach, as well as an amateur baker. And so today we're going to be bringing you some baking escapades. Okay. I am going through the Great British Bake Off challenges and recreating them to try them out. This was a challenge I gave myself probably about a year ago where I was going to start doing more baking. I did a few of them and then I never really picked it up after that. Good job. So this is about a year in the making, and now that we have all of this extra time during this pandemic, I thought I would pick it back up with my handy cameraman, my fiance John. And so I've just chosen a series of oh man, okay. I just chose a series of the Great British Bake Off, and I'm going episode by episode doing the challenges. So here is a cakes episode, and I'm doing Mary Berry's angel food cake. I've already got all of my ingredients measured out. Here we have our sugar, flour, egg whites, cream of tartar, salt, lemon juice, and zest. And we're just going to be putting it together and making an angel food cake, which I've never done before. So first what we do is we sift the flour and the castor sugar together in a bowl and set that aside. So castor sugar is a fine form of sugar, mostly used based on my knowledge in the UK. It's not as common here in the US. I didn't happen to find castor sugar specifically, but I found a fine sugar. But castor sugar is not the same thing as powdered sugar. So we're only using part of the sugar here. The rest is going to be used to whisk up the egg whites and create, in essence, a meringue. So now we start whisking the egg whites. So we're going to do that on high speed. Just for a minute to get them frothy, and then we add the lemon zest, juice, cream of tartar, and salt. So we're looking for soft peaks, which that is not. Right. Those are soft peaks. So they fall over and they lose form, but there's a little bit of peak in there. And then we're going to be adding the sugar 1 tablespoon at a time until it starts to set up and gives us firm peaks. All right. That looks like a pretty firm peak. So we were looking for firm but not stiff peaks. These are looking maybe somewhere in between those two, so we'll see how this goes. So then what we want to do is sprinkle over the flour mixture. I got my hands all dirty. All right, so we're going to combine the flour in slowly. That way the cake stays nice and light and doesn't get really firm. So we're going to sprinkle over about 1/3 of it, gently combine, and then repeat. So if I do this wrong, I'm gonna end up with a hockey puck instead of a cake. It's kind of a tricky balance because on one hand, you don't wanna overmix because you'll knock out all the air, but at the same time, if you don't mix enough, you end up with chunks of flour and nobody wants that. All right, so I think I have mixed enough. It knocked a little bit of the air out of it, but I think that's probably expected. What's interesting is that even though this cake has no fat in it, we're not greasing the tin.
Did you wash it?
Didn't you wash it? So now we transfer it to the cake pan and then run a knife through the center of it. And then we bake it for 45 to 50 minutes. It should rise and be really light and airy when it comes out. Okay. Ooh, rising. Clean. So as it cools, it'll continue to hang down. We are making lemon curd again, and we're gonna pretty much be making the whole thing on the stove. We are going to combine the sugar, egg yolks, lemon juice, and lemon zest all together and cook on low until it starts to thicken up. I'm splashing myself. You want to make sure it's cooking at low because you don't want to scramble the eggs. It's going to take a while. Can't tell if it's thickening. It says it should coat the back of a spoon. Does that look coated to you? Because we have to add the butter at some point. You know about how long I've been stirring this? See, I thought this was the time. It's the temperature. It's not changing.
Being with you, it does seem to make time stand still.
Oh. This is probably good. Alright, can I have the butter, please? Oh, wait, there's too much butter. I forgot I was having a recipe. At least I realized before I put it in this time. I am improving. It's half of 175. Come on, calculator.
164 and a, or
I don't think so.
175 and a half would be
175,
80.
half of that.
Yeah, 80, 85, 88.5, 84.5,
88.
80.5, something like that. That's exactly what I said.
Close enough. Thank you for our producer. Alright, so it has been cooling for about an hour, and the next instruction is to use a palette knife to get it off the sides of the pan and then let it cool the rest of the way. So let's see. I don't really know how to get it out of this part. Alright, so maybe it got a little bit more color than I would have liked, but it came off. There aren't any big holes in it, and it hasn't deflated yet, so we'll see how it goes in a few hours. Alright, so now we're going to make the whipped cream, and it's really simple. It's just heavy whipping cream and some vanilla extract. There's no sugar in this. There's plenty of sugar in everything else. We are going to be using the whipped cream basically as like a buttercream on the outside of the cake. And I just learned this, but you don't want to actually whip it on high. You want to whip it pretty low because you can't bring it back from being butter. But if you whip it lower, once it starts to thicken, then you just fold it the rest of the way. So we are gonna coat the top and the sides and a little bit of the center ring with the whipped cream. So I was pretty happy to see that my cake didn't fall, which means there was enough air in it to keep it up and it was well baked. I've been getting some of the crumb in the whipped cream, but that's okay. It's gonna taste the same. It'll just be a little bit more rustic English country. Oh man. Clean up a bit. So in the recipe, they added passion fruit to the lemon curd. However, passion fruit doesn't exist right now. So it's just gonna be lemon curd. All right. And there it is. The finished angel food cake with lemon curd drizzled on the outside. And now all that's left is to take a picture and then cut into a slice. All right, moment of truth. All right, it looks like it has the right consistency. It's nice and airy. So I remember when I was in high school, I went to a friend's house and his mom had just made an angel food cake and I had never had one before, and I had 2 big slices because it's super light, not filling, and then I had a glass of water and I felt like my stomach was going to explode. Cheers. Mmm. It's super light, it's citrusy. The lemon curd isn't too sweet, it's a little bit tangy. The cake has a really nice light vanilla flavor, and the whipped cream just brings it all together with a little bit of creaminess. Come on, don't leave me hanging.
Mmm, yummy. Light and airy and lemony too.
Say that with less enthusiasm, please.
Good job.
All right, so that is our episode today of the Great American... All right, let's try that again. All right, so that's our episode of the Great Pandemic Bake Off. We are going to be trying to do at least one of these a week to keep ourselves busy while we're contained to the house. So be sure to tune in next week to the same channel, and I'll see you then. Bye for now. It's terrible.